The Ford Granada. From hero to zero, and everything in between. Buckle up, buttercups, because we're diving into the history of the Ford Granada. A car that started as the king of the high street and ended up looking like a depressed deep-sea fish. If you were in North America in the 70s, Granada meant a boxy compact, but in Europe, it was the chariot of the gods, or at least the local branch manager. The 1960s, Ford's identity crisis. Before the Granada, Ford's big car in the UK was the Zephyr. It was fine if you liked driving a boat that handled like a damp sponge. Meanwhile, Ford Germany was doing its own thing with the Taunus. It was a mess. Ford was getting its lunch money stolen by the Rover P6 and the Triumph 2000. On the continent, Mercedes and BMW were looking at Ford like a stain on their windshields. Ford needed a win. They poured £50 million, back when that actually bought you a country, into a world car for Europe. They wanted to name it the Granada, but a media company called Granada Limited threw a tantrum. They were terrified that if a Ford Granada blew up in a supermarket car park, people would stop watching their TV shows. So, Ford played it safe. Fancy models were Granadas, and the poverty spec versions were called the Consul. It was basically Ford's way of saying, "We're not sure if we'll lose this court case, so here's a backup name from the 50s. 1972, the glory days. The Mk1 Granada arrived in 1972 looking like a slice of pure Americana, shrunk down for European roads. It had independent rear suspension, disc brakes at the front anyway. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, and a range of engines that screamed, "I've arrived." The motoring press lost their minds. They even said the suspension was better than the legendary Citroën DS. High praise, considering the DS was basically a magic carpet. Ford even leaned into some classic 1970s sexism for their ads, suggesting that a lady wife might be obliging enough to fetch the car for her husband. The 70s, where the cars were cool and the marketing was questionable. Then came Ghia. Ford bought the Italian design house and slapped the badge on the Granada. It was supposed to be the height of luxury, but Ford's accountants were stingy. The Italian flair mostly consisted of some fancy wood trim and a badge to make middle management feel like they were driving a Ferrari. It worked. People loved it. It was the star of gritty cop shows like The Sweeney, where it spent most of its time sliding around corners and smashing into cardboard boxes. The 1980s, things get weird. By 1977, we got the Mark II. It looked brand new, but under the skin, it was the same old Mark I. It's like putting a tuxedo on a scarecrow. It was boxy, it was German-built, and it even ended up in South Korea, being built by Hyundai. Yes, before they made EVs that look like spaceships, Hyundai was building old Fords. But then, the German triad, Audi, BMW and Mercedes, started getting serious. Suddenly, driving a Ford was seen as common. Executives didn't want to buy their luxury cruiser from the same place their plumber bought his transit van. 1985, the Scorpio identity crisis. In 1985, Ford panicked. They launched a new car. In Europe, it was the Scorpio. In the UK, they kept the Granada name because British buyers were still traumatized by the jelly mold styling of the Sierra. This new car was a tech fest. ABS was standard, and it had headphone jacks in the back. Groundbreaking stuff for 1985. It won European Car of the Year, but it was only a hatchback. Executives hated hatchbacks. They wanted a boot to put their golf clubs in. By the time Ford added a saloon and a state, the Germans had already won the war. But 1994, the final nail, the frog incident. And now, we reach the tragedy. In 1994, Ford dropped the Granada name entirely and gave us the Mk1 Scorpio. It was an architectural choice. It had huge, bulging headlights that made it look like it was perpetually surprised to be a car. The rear end looked like an American car that had been melted in a microwave. Ford was so scared of how ugly it was that they held secret meetings with journalists to explain why it was actually beautiful. Hint: if you have to explain why your car isn't ugly, it's ugly. The press absolutely shredded it. It looked like a sad frog or a gasping bottom feeder. Sales didn't just drop, they evaporated. Ford realized they couldn't compete with the prestige of BMW or Mercedes with a car that looked like a deep-sea creature. They bought Jaguar and Volvo instead, and quietly took the Scorpio behind the barn. In 1998, the Ford Granada started as a hero of the people and ended as a cautionary tale in design. It was a wild ride of V6 engines, Italian badges, and one very unfortunate facelift. Rest in peace, Granada. You were too weird for this world.